All right, welcome everybody to the Lakers Legacy podcast where look at that cold ass white boy go. No, not Austin Reeves. No, not Dalton Connect. I am unfortunately talking about Franz Wagner. That cold ass white boy. I'm your host, Jonathan Hernandez, and today I am solo potting. I'm not going to be joined by anyone. Here to talk you guys off of a ledge after last night's devastating loss to the Orlando Magic at the hands of a Franz Wagner step back dagger 3 with 2 seconds left in a game that the Lakers had in hand if they had just hit their free throws. So the Lakers end up snapping their 6-game winning streak and end up losing their first home game of the season. And yeah, I was there to witness it in person. So you guys are all welcome. So, in this quick podcast episode, let's talk about why and how the Lakers lost. We will get into the litany of ills that led to the Lakers' demise. And then at the turn, we will then look ahead to the future and talk about Rui Hachimura's return and whether or not Dalton Connect should continue starting. Let's start here by talking about the obvious free throws. The Lakers' top 3 players, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Austin Reeves, they all went a combined 2 of 8 from the line with 3 minutes left in the game. Austin Reeves went 0 of 2, which is very, very rare. I don't think he's done that all season. LeBron James went 1 and 2, which is kind of normal. And then Anthony Davis in the clutch, I think within the last minute of the game, went 1 and 2. That was annoying. And then the dagger, he went 0 of 2 in the final possession of the game for the Lakers when he got intentionally fouled. And look, missed free throws happen, but that was unacceptable from our top 3 guys. You guys are the big 3 for a reason. We should be able to go to you guys in the clutch. And if Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis just split all of their free throws for the night, if they just don't go 0 and 2 at the line, we are telling a much different story of last night's game. But alas, Austin and Anthony Davis both went 0 of 2 from the line in the last 3 minutes of the game. And yeah, that bit the Lakers in the butt at the end of the day. So yeah, it's unfortunate. That obviously wasn't the only reason why the Lakers lost, but when the game was at hand in the final minutes and all you needed to do was hit your free throws or split your free throws in the vacuum of that context, it is absolutely why the Lakers lost. And I don't know why Anthony Davis is so gung ho about getting the ball in clutch free throw situations when this is like the second or third time that he's missed clutch free throws to then allow the team on the opposing end to go down and hit a game winning shot on us. And it's happened at home in our own home turf, no less, in the last couple of years. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe go to someone else down the stretch for intentional free throws moving forward because until Anthony Davis can show a legitimate consistency in hitting his free throws in crunch time, I just don't know how reliable it is. Okay, let's move on to some other reasons. And I want to highlight the last defensive play of the game on Franz Wagner. First off, Cam Reddish was finally inserted back into the game. I think this was the right call. But when Cam Reddish switched onto Franz Wagner, because first of all, Anthony Davis was defending Franz first. And then Jalen Suggs came over to set a screen, and then Cam Reddish switched onto Franz. And when you get that matchup between Cam and Franz, it's fine. Cam Reddish is 6'7", 6'8", with a 7'1" wingspan. He was going to be able to hold up pretty well against Franz. But the thing that Cam did wrong, and I think JJ Redick mentioned this in his post-game interview, was Cam needed to press up on Franz for that last possession. A 2-pointer wasn't going to kill us, but a 3-pointer definitely was going to kill us, and it did. And Cam Reddish should have bodied up on Franz Wagner, pressed up on him, and forced him off of the 3-point line. So that was Cam Reddish's main mistake. And even though Franz Wagner had to step back and Cam Reddish closed out pretty well and contested the shot pretty well, you just don't want to leave it up to chance and give them the opportunity to win the game in the way that they did. And so What Cam Reddish should have done was force Franz Wagner off the 3-point line. But what actually should have happened in general was Anthony Davis should have been attached to Franz the entire way, and Anthony Davis and Cam Reddish shouldn't have switched. Anthony Davis should have done whatever it took to stay attached to Franz Wagner's hip. And even if Jalen Suggs continued to flare out to the wing in the way that he did, Cam Reddish is still quick and athletic enough to jump back out to Suggs if Franz inevitably passed it to him. But we need Anthony Davis, our best defensive player, on the best offensive player to close a game like that. We've seen it in the past. We've seen it in clutch situations. That's where AD comes up clutch, on the defensive end of the floor. We've seen AD guard game-winning attempts from the likes of Damian Lillard and Steph Curry. He should have been on Franz Wagner to completely smother that last second 3-point shot of his and put any sort of additional length on him. But yeah, Franz Wagner ended up killing us. That defensive mishap, that defensive miscue, switching that, it all came back to bite us. So that's another reason why we lost last night's game. And then on the same topic of Cam Reddish, if you guys follow me on X at Lakers Legacy Pod, you would know that I was harping on this issue the entire night. But for the entire game, Orlando was killing us with their height and length all game, especially without Rui Hachimura. Outside of Jalen Suggs, the Orlando Magic employ about 6 to 8 different 6'8" to 6'9" plus guys in height. You've got Jonathan Isaac, Goga Batadze, Franz Wagner, Tristan da Silva. At one point, all of those players were out on the court at one time, with just Jalen Suggs or Anthony Black as the 6'5" guard. And even those guys are pretty tall for their position. And so the Magic were just killing us with their overall size and height all game. And without Rui, Redick had to run some crazy guard lineups with Gabe, D'Lo, Connect, and Max out there all at the same time with just Anthony Davis, which was pretty ridiculous. I think Redick probably should have played Koloko a little more than just 10 minutes. But anyways, the thing that I want to point to is I feel like the biggest misstep came from JJ Redick in the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, when Franz Wagner was heating up and he kept draining mid-range jump shot after mid-range jump shot or 3-point shot over smaller guys like Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, and Max Christie. It didn't matter if those guys were trying hard or contesting well or were pretty attached to Franz Wagner's hip. He was just so much taller than them. All he needed to do was rise up and just shoot his normal jump shot. It didn't matter at the end of the day. So for JJ Redick to not turn to Cam Reddish and put extra length on Franz Wagner for that entire fourth quarter stretch, I don't know what that was all about. And it was very unlike JJ Redick to not make that adjustment on the fly, because typically he has been very good at being flexible and adapting in game. And this was in a game where Cam Reddish was playing well on both ends. So for JJ Redick to not go back to Cam Reddish till the literal final defensive play of the game was kind of perplexing. And I think it ultimately led to our demise, because by the time Cam Reddish took on that assignment in the final defensive possession, Franz Wagner was already running white hot, pun intended. He was in a complete rhythm and flow by the end of the game that I was honestly not surprised that he hit that difficult 3-point shot. But if Cam Reddish had been on Franz Wagner earlier, even made him uncomfortable, even if he still hit those shots, Franz Wagner would have felt that length on him. And maybe we have a different result for that final shot. But yeah, another reason why we lost is because JJ Redick turned to Cam Reddish too late. And it almost reminded me of the Phoenix Suns loss in Phoenix when Kevin Durant was cooking every single one of our guards, and Cam Reddish at that point was still out of the rotation. And I mentioned during that game, man, we could really use Cam Reddish right now. And last night we had Cam Reddish very available, and he had 8 points and 8 rebounds, was knocking down his open catch and shoot threes, and JJ Redick did not go to him, which again is kind of ridiculous. I mean, come on, you've gone the full way through of already starting Cam Reddish. you may as well play him in these situations against length when you actually need to play him. And yeah, so there is another one of my main reasons why the Lakers lost last night. And yeah, Cam Reddish notwithstanding, I think we can all agree that the Lakers just need more defensive dogs in general. But do you also know what we all need as a society in general? We all need some underdog fantasy, that is. Because Underdog Fantasy is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. Compete against other players just by selecting higher or lower on 2 or more players' stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. If you guys are looking for a good bet for tonight's slate of games, 11:22, take a look at Nikola Vucevic higher than 19.5 points versus the Atlanta Hawks. Vucevic has been killing it this season, and he only had 14 points his last game. So I think he'll want to have a bounce back sort of game tonight. And also, every pick suggestion that I've handed out so far in these Underdog Fantasy promos have hit. So I'm like 3-0 at this point if you take my single pick advice. And yeah, how about we go 4-0 tonight? So check out that Nikola Vucevic higher than 19.5 points prop. Get that bet in today by downloading the Underdog app, signing up, and using code LEGACY, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, download the Underdog app, sign up, and use code LEGACY, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Higher or lower, you make the call. Turn every Gabe Vincent lower than 1 point performance into a higher dollar amount for your wallet with Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. All right, let's take it to our sponsors first. And then when we return after the break, I will talk more about how and why the Lakers lost to the Orlando Magic and also get into whether or not Dalton Connect should continue starting. All right, I'll catch you guys after the turn. All right, so we are back. Let me give you guys some brighter notes of emphasis from last night's game. Because free throws aside, Anthony Davis was absolutely stellar. 39 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks. He hit another clutch 3. He was actually 9 of 9 from the line for much of the night till those clutch free throws came into play. So I don't know what to say outside of he just choked in crunch time. But overall, he has been our MVP this entire year. And up until the 1 minute mark of the fourth quarter, he was our MVP for the game. So kudos to Anthony Davis. And then LeBron James almost had another triple double once again. 31 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. That poster dunk on Jonathan Isaac was the stuff of legends. That was insane. So ferocious, so much power in that one-handed sledgehammer. And then his 3 straight threes in the second half really brought the Lakers back to life. My fiance was so ecstatic that she was able to capture every single one of those threes in high quality iPhone 16 Max quality. And yeah, it's just unfortunate how it all ended because LeBron James was super amped and he was ready to carry the day. And he had carried the day up until this point, up until all of the missed free throws. So let's get into my last main reason why the Lakers lost last night. And it's because of their combined and collective guard play. D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and Gabe Vincent, they all absolutely stunk offensively. Austin Reeves was 3 of 12 from the field, and he looked all out of sorts with the ball in his hands. He only had two turnovers, but it felt a lot more than that. It felt like a lot more than that. And then D'Angelo Russell, he was 3 of 10 from the field, but 1 of 7 from 3. He airballed 2 or 3 threes tonight that weren't even close. And I have never seen D'Angelo Russell airball this many threes in this short amount of time. And I don't know what's going on. I think he's just expending so much energy running around and actually trying on defense that his legs are absolutely shot. But yeah, in these first 15 games alone, I think I have seen D'Angelo Russell airball more threes than in the prior 2 years when D'Angelo Russell returned to the Lakers. So that's very telling. And he just needs to get it together. I mean, he was playmaking pretty well. He had 6 assists in just 23 minutes, but man, we just need so much more from him from a shot making perspective to keep defenses honest. Because he can really change a game by just hitting one or two more threes, because as we all know, once D'Angelo hits 1 3, he might hit two or three more. And so far, we have not gotten those moments from him this season, which is very unfortunate. And so D'Lo was 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 7 from three. And then Gabe Vincent, I don't know what to say because he was 0 for 0 from the field. He didn't even take a shot. We got another 0-0 performance from Gabe Vincent in 14 minutes. 14 minutes too much, if you ask me, because Gabe Vincent literally did not record a single stat outside of 2 personal fouls. He didn't record a single stat in 14 minutes. He did the same thing that you and I did last night, and he's getting paid $11 million, and this simply can't keep happening. So yeah, you combine all of that together and let's do the Blues Clues thing together. You get 6 of 22 from the field last night from 3 of your main core guards, and that is just not going to cut it. At this point, play Max Christie more minutes over Gabe Vincent. Give D'Angelo Russell all of Gabe Vincent's backup guard minutes. Give D'Angelo Russell all of the backup guard minutes so that he can find his shot, because at least he's playmaking in this stretch. And I don't know, play Cam Reddish more. We need to take away Gabe Vincent's 14 minutes and divvy that up amongst more productive players or more players that we have hope in. And, at this point, hell, give Maxwell Lewis or Quincy Oliveri a shot. All I know is this can't keep happening, and this isn't going to cut it. But yeah, overall last night, no matter who you want to point to, all of our guards stunk. Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Gabe Vincent, and we simply can't have that. On a brighter note, Dalton Connect, outside of how poor he looked defensively, offensively, he kept things going. Dalton Connect has now scored in double figures in his last 5 straight games. And right now, he is just in a complete flow and rhythm offensively. The genie's out of the bottle, and we can't put the genie back in the bottle, nor do we want to. Dalton Connect over his last 5 games is now averaging 22.8 points, 4.2 rebounds, shooting 63% from the field and 63% from 3, knocking down 4.8 threes a game. That is unheard of. That is just insane levels of production and efficiency from the rookie. But having said that, and this is where we'll segue into the bench starter talk, I do still think that Dalton Connect should come off the bench when Rui Hachimura returns. And I think JJ Redick has already mentioned that this is his plan. Because as good as Dalton Connect has been, and as much as he opens the offense up for everyone, I actually don't think Dalton Connect is better than Rui Hachimura defensively right now. And I think what the starting unit needs is that imposing length, strength, and height to sort of counteract opposing team starting lineups and punch them in the mouth with some physicality. And I think that's something that Rui Hachimura can bring more of than Dalton Connect, because Rui Hachimura is 6'8" and he's, built like a rock. And even if we look at last night defensively, it was very apparent that Dalton Connect could not hold up against the Magic's taller, longer, and more physical forwards. He was getting picked on by guys like Tristan Da Silva, Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, you name it. Anybody who was switched on to him, they were taking Dalton Connect to the cup and just easily finishing over him or draining mid-range jump shots over him. And so Rui has more size, he has more height, he has more physicality that I believe can be more imposing to other teams' starting lineups, while still also being able to give some of that spacing and cutting that Dalton Connect provides. Obviously at a much lesser level, but Rui Hachimura knows how to play his role as a starter very well, even if he isn't a prototypical 3-and-D wing. I think he provides more of what I think JJ Redick wants to start off games with. And again, that's length, physicality, and being more imposing up front. But also the main reason why I want Dalton Connect off the bench is I really like him coming in with D'Angelo Russell. I really like that tandem together. And honestly, the stats and the tape back it up, because these two are one of the highest rated offensive duos in the NBA in general, on par with guys like on par with guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Nikola Vucevic and Jamal Murray. Like these guys were coming off the bench, but they are still two of the highest offensive rated duos in the entire NBA. And then on the Lakers, they are also the Lakers' top two highest net rated players on the season. D'Angelo Russell's number one in net rating. Dalton Knecht is shortly behind him at number two. And same goes for cumulative plus minus. D'Angelo's number one. Dalton Knecht is number two. And in the flow of the game last night, Dalton actually didn't hit his first three until D'Angelo Russell came into the game. His first three was assisted by, you guessed it, D'Angelo Russell. And during Dalton's career high 37-point game, D'Angelo Russell assisted on like 4 or 5 of Dalton's 9 made threes. And so these two just naturally have a great synergy with one another. And D'Angelo Russell really knows how to get DK the ball in the spots that he likes, in spots that somehow evade opposing defenses, in nuanced, crafty D'Lo sort of ways. So I actually like D'Angelo Russell and DK coming in together off the bench to just provide that huge offensive punch and firepower as a tandem, because again, I think they work so well off of one another. And once D'Angelo Russell can hit a few three-pointers of his own, I think this duo can be even more lethal and dynamic. And yeah, teams won't know what to do. It'll be a complete pick your poison sort of deal at the perimeter. But even right now, with D'Angelo Russell not hitting any threes, he is still I'm pretty sure he's the number one assist guy to Dalton Knecht on the season. And that matches the tape as well. So yeah, I want to keep that duo together coming off the bench. I think Dalton Knecht should still get at least 25 to 28 minutes. But I want to continue to make sure the starting unit is big, strong, and imposing. And I also want to make sure that we keep Rui Hachimura engaged and don't completely lose him, because we still need Rui. And last night, we definitely needed Rui's size. And we want to make sure he doesn't get lost in the mud of things. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. We play the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. I don't think we've actually beaten the Denver Nuggets in the regular season since the 2022 year, or 2022, when Russell Westbrook was still here. That was the last time we beat the Denver Nuggets in the regular season. Obviously, we beat them in the playoffs last season, but in terms of a regular season game, we are like 0-8 or more to the Denver Nuggets. So hopefully we can finally beat them tomorrow. Nikola Jokic is going to be back for that game, but it is what it is against the Lakers. So hopefully the Lakers can win tomorrow. But yeah, with that said, that'll do it for this episode. Please remember to follow us on X at Lakers Legacy Pod. Please also remember to give us a 5-star rating and review on the Apple Podcast app and Spotify. And also, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Lakers Legacy Pod. And yeah, hope everyone has a good weekend and hope the Lakers can finally beat the Denver Nuggets in a regular season game tomorrow. With that said, I'll catch you guys next time. This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast. Peace.